Okay, I moved over to get into the shade a little bit. It's in the afternoon now, it's like 94 degrees out here. I don't know how long I'll last at this. Next thing I want to do is tackle the carburetor and see why it only run when the choke is held shut on it. The first thing I want to do is take the nut off the bottom of the carburetor. There's the carburetor bowl. I want to make sure that I'm getting plenty of gas from the tank through the hose, the cutoff valve, the filter, and sometimes there's a screen embedded in this fitting right here. If that gets clogged, then of course it's not going to get enough gas to make the machine run properly. Alright, I'm going to turn the gas on here. Plenty of gas flow. So it tells us the gas tank's working. There's nothing clogged up there, nothing in the line. You know, this works when you turn it on. Filter's working, and if it does have a metal screen inside of there, that little elbow, the gas is free flowing through there. So at that point, I'm going to stick the bowl back on the carburetor and continue to go ahead and pull the carburetor off the more. One quick note before I yank the carburetor off. A couple of you're screaming at your phone or your TV screen. This nut on this older 1998 Briggs, that's not the main jet for this. So a lot of times the bowl nut has a hole drilled through it and one going through the top, and that's what regulates the high-speed jet, but not on this model. So I could pull it off and find the high-speed jet and see why it's plugged up. Oh, and the bowl looks pretty clean. This thing probably rarely, if ever, had any methanol gas in it, because for a long time I've been going to Powhatan and buying the ethanol-free gas. And this thing was parked with no gas in it, so it's odd that the carburetor's got a problem, but we'll figure it out. I was looking at it. It's got two long bolts that come out this side here, and that holds this plastic air intake, and it's one there. So it's one there, one on either side here, and then that plastic piece should back off, and then at that point the carburetor should slide off. This thing should be very easy to take apart. One thing that's always good to when you're working on small engines is a small ratchet and a long extension, so you can reach into those hard to get areas. Because there's a bracket I took off here, but still kind of need a long extension. Here's the bracket right here. The black bracket was in there kind of blocking the getting to that nut. We still need a long extension. Alright, so we got that screw out there, got the two nuts here, the one on the back, and it's ready to slide on down. And then when you slide it on back, you'll see a little rubber hose. That's the air ventilation for the crank case, where the oil on the piston rod and all is. So I just got to pull that off and move the plastic piece out the way. So this is what 25-year-old dirt looks like, because I've owned this thing for 25 years and I've never had the carburetor get in trouble before. So as far as I know, this is the first time this ever carburetor's been pulled off for service. Alright, as we continue to pull it down, we'll need a socket to spin these two long shafts out. They're threaded back in here into that elbow on the carburetor. Once the carburetor's loose, you can just spin it around sideways and walk it off the choke and the throttle, and we can check it while we're here. We can see that engages the governor down there, and it puts a lot of tension on it so it'll run full governor speed. If we move the throttle, there's the throttle. If we move the throttle on up, then they're just in a choke position. And even when you choke it, you got some holes drilled in there. You can't choke all the air off. But it was having to run on a choke, so that was limiting the amount of air that was going into the carburetor. It only had enough gas to attain the speed that we listened to earlier. But let's idle it on down, take the pressure off of them, and continue taking this onion apart. In order to get the main jet and emulsion tube out, you need a screwdriver that's kind of got flat edges on the side. And here's the emulsion tube. I got it unscrewed, but yeah, let's come on back here. But it has to reach up in there to unthread that out of there. And what I found, and looking at it with the flashlight and all, there's two of these. That hole right there is open, and that one there is open. This one in the middle is clogged, and that one there up by the threads is partially clogged. And I think the main jet shooting down there, you can see it there, see the white dot in the middle of the emulsion tube, that's got a little trash in that too. So I don't think I'm going much further. I'm going to take some carburetor cleaner and clean this thing off a little bit around the sides, and clean this emulsion tube up and put it back together and see if she'll fire off and run. The other thing I want to blow out with some carburetor cleaner while I got it are these passageways here and passageways there. They have to do with getting air in and out of the carburetor for high speed and low speed operation. There's really no better way to clean those little passageways out than if you got some welding rod cleaners. If you got some piano wire or something like that, it comes in lots of different sizes, but you don't want to force the big one into the hole and make the hole bigger. You just want the hole to be perfectly clean. I found another little problem with it with the low speed adjustment. There's a little low speed needle. You can see it kind of eccentric and goes into a hole and regulates gas flow. And let's see, oh yeah, you can see that hole right there in the center where it came out of, and then right around here on this side there's a little hole right there, and this is for when the engine's idling. And it'll also make it surge if it's clogged up and not working right, where the speed's up and down. And you can see by there that hole is halfway clogged up. So I'm gonna run a welding tip through it and blow it out with the carbs cleaner and blow it out on that end too. And it probably, that hole right there in dead center is also probably part of that idle circuit that runs up through there. It's adjusted there and it comes out right there. And here's what the culprit, why I clogged up the jets and stuff on the carburetor. See all that little gray powdery looking stuff? It's almost like a calcium deposit. But this thing's been sitting out there 2 or 3 years. It hadn't had any gas in it. When I parked it, it was running perfect. And then last year I threw some gas in it, tried to start it, and it would start and run on the choke. But as soon as you take the choke off, it would stop. But all that little powder stuff got in all those little passageways and turned hard. So I need to scrub the inside of that bowl out really, really good. And matter of fact, since I'm not putting ethanol gas in it, I may need to rethink it. I may be better off just to leave gas in it, start it up every three or 4 months. I used that little Stay-Brite pad, and that really did a good job cleaning the bowl off of that and some carburetor cleaner. So it should last another 25 years now. All right, before we put the air filter assembly on it, let's turn the gas on, see if we have any leaks. I don't think we're going to have any. And let's put it up in the choke position. Choke, and we're neutral, blades off. Let's see how we're going to run. Place your bets. all back together. Gas is on. Choke's working. I'm just gonna leave the throttle down on low. Probably just running a few minutes ago before I finished up putting the carburetor back on. Let's see. Perfect. Still not going to be cutting any grass just yet. In the morning I got to yank the deck off. The two idler pulleys that feed the deck are rusted and not turning. They're burning the belt. I got to take them off and either swap them out or beat on them a little bit to get them turning. So we're not cutting grass yet. Tomorrow probably. There's a nice little bucket full of goodies. Thursday, July 27th. Got our first little piece of okra. That feels nice and soft and tender too. Already snipped it off the plant. There's another one coming right behind it. Finally gonna get some okra.